Brandon back. Time for more SexxxPerTease. Today's question is, should you cut off your exes or should you stay in contact? Personally speaking, I used to really like staying in contact. I used to stay in contact with a lot of like ex friends with benefits. I actually feel like with guys that were more like situationships or relationships, I do cut off contact, especially after my first boyfriend. It just was really like sever all ties and then have nothing to do with each other. I mean, I don't think that's necessarily what I wanted, but that's kind of what I was forced to do. And I do feel like it does work better for me in like moving on, because I do feel like in a sense you don't really get the closure you need, but I also feel like people try too hard to hang on to an ex that's made it clear like the relationship is over. And I feel like people don't let go and have a struggle letting go, especially if you're still interacting with your exes or like trying to be friends with them or just trying to be like have them in your life. Like, that is not something I want. I like don't believe in being friends with exes. Kind of just feel like, unless maybe it's years later, but I just kind of feel like if I'm in a new relationship, why am I still hanging out with my ex, or why are we friends? Like, I kind of feel like I already have friends. It's like, I feel like, generally, personally feel like I would prefer we can be friendly. Like, maybe we can follow each other on social media, we can chat, we can like each other's posts or maybe comment on them. But I kind of feel like we're not going to be like hanging out, getting lunch regularly. We're not going to go to the club together. We're not going to like double date. Like, that's just not something I personally want in my life. Like, I just prefer to like, for moving on purposes, that you are no longer a part of my life. And I do feel like it's sad and it is hard to let go of an ex, but I also feel like you're making it even more difficult to try to let go and move on with your life if you are still hanging on to your ex as like a friend, or like I always want to reach out to talk to them, or blah blah blah. Kind of just feel like, to me, that just sometimes feels like they're still waiting in the wings, or like you could still have feelings for them. And I kind of feel like I'm not comfortable with that. I would not comfortable with that with like the person I'm dating. I'm not comfortable with that with like myself. I kind of just feel like it's disrespectful to my new relationship where it's like I'm still hanging out with my ex, or I'm still like going everywhere with my ex. I kind of just feel like, well, if you have one big fight, you're gonna go talk to your ex or see comfort in them, or like blah blah blah. Like, I've seen a lot of TV shows, but I kind of just feel like it's a real reality. Like, I just feel like it is so much easier to move on when you sever contact. And I know some people are like, well, my ex and I are still friends, or like it's mature to stay friends with your ex, but also some people think it's pathetic to stay friends with your ex. It kind of just feels like you're incapable of moving on with your life. Like, that chapter is over. Let it go. Move on. You don't need to be friends with your ex. You don't need to keep them in your life. You don't need to hold on to that emotional crutch of like still feeling like you want them or they want you, or always wondering what could have been, or seeing them like move on with someone else, or them being jealous of their new partner, or like your ex finally became the man you wanted them to be with someone else. It's just kind of like, my life is here, your life is there. We used to be one, but now we're not. So I just feel like it's easier for everyone involved to just sever ties. I mean, it is hard letting go, it is hard moving on, but I also feel like it's the best thing for me personally to just move on with my life and not keep holding on to this chapter that is now closed. It's like, again, we can be friendly, we will never be friends. Like, I don't want to hear about all the new guys you're dating or fucking. I don't want to get brunch weekly. I don't want to see you all the time. Like, maybe like once we can meet up, but that's only if I'm single. Like, I also just feel like if my ex reaches out to me and I'm in a relationship, like, that's just really disrespectful to like go meet up with them. It's just kind of like, no. Like, I feel like that's disrespectful to my partner. I feel like it's disrespectful to myself. Like, why would I want to jeopardize or even put my partner in that position to be uncomfortable? Like, I feel like it's so disrespectful and rude to be like, well, I'm going to be friends with my ex regardless if you want. You can tell me who I want to be friends with. Or it's just kind of feel like, well, you clearly have no respect for me or this relationship. Like, so then it's like, if you want to go hang out with your exes, then I should just go reach out to my exes and hang out with them too. It's just kind of like, it just feels like it's a messed up situation all the way around. I just feel like it's very messy. And I feel like a lot of gays do end up in that situation where they are hanging out with their exes, because there's only so many gay people in your city, or like whatever. And it's even smaller for lesbians, because I feel like they always end up friends with exes, hooking up with the same people as their exes, dating the same people. And to me, that's just gross. Like, I don't want that in my life. I don't want people from my past getting with my friend, or like my exes and friends mixing. I don't like that. I like boundaries and keeping everything in their place. So I definitely think, I mean, there are some people that if you break up and it's a mutual decision, like, it wasn't like a hard, no one was cheating or abusive or toxic, then it's like, well, why can't we stay in touch or stay friends? But it's also just still kind of messy because it's like you just were planning a future with this person, and then now it's like you want to date new people, but then it's like, oh yeah, I'm hanging out with my ex tonight, or my ex is my new best friend, and it's just kind of like, that's just messy and sloppy and not cute. Like, I don't support that. So, thanks for joining me for this episode of Sex Per Tea.